What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Mitch Does Coffee YouTube channel. Now, I recently had one of you guys reach out to explain that he was having some issues with creating the perfect La Pavoni recipe. So what I want to do is go through a complete dial-in process of a new coffee I have here from our friends at Baker Street Roastery to show you guys the best way to get a perfect coffee from your La Pavoni lever machine. So the machine I'm using today is my La Pavoni Euro Pickler that I have completely restored, rebuilt, a couple of little upgrades on it, but nothing too crazy. So if you have a standard one, the same rules are going to apply here. So fill your machine up with clean water, switch it on, wait until everything, including your group head, is up to temperature. You can speed this up slightly by lifting the lever once the machine is hot. Now, I do have a little cheat here on the group head that tells me when we're nice and hot, but if you touch it and it's hot, well, it's hot. So we're up to temperature and ready to grind some coffee. But before we grind, we need to weigh out our beans because we are single dosing today. I will explain the hopper style grinding process in just a minute. Now, depending on the basket you have, for example, this is a 20 gram IMS basket. So I will weigh 20 grams of beans into our dosing cup. Now, this part is extremely important. Knowing your grinder is going to help here. But if you don't, do a little bit of research on the grinder you've got and find out what the espresso range is. I know that on this grinder, we're looking anywhere from sort of your 1 to 5. So anywhere in that range there is your espresso range. Give or take a little bit, depending on the beans. Humidity, there's a lot of reasons that go into that. But I'm going to go to the coarser end. So the bigger numbers, start at the coarser end. I know it's probably going to be too coarse, but that's okay, and I'll explain why in a moment. Now we go ahead and grind our beans. Transfer it over to your portafilter, however you want to do that. There's many ways. Yes, I've done a little shortcut here that you didn't see, but that's okay. That's just because I want to use my new grinder. We're going to do a little bit of distribution here. This is a bit messy because I don't have a dosing ring in this size. I actually sold it to somebody. Little tap. Now we want to tamp evenly, flat and firm. Flat being the most important part. Get rid of any little excess bits in there. Get it nice and clean. Nice and flat, very flat. It has to be flat, guys. I can't be stressing enough about that. If it's not flat, you're going to do yourself an injustice here and make things very difficult. Now we want to purge the group head of any air. Make sure that's nice and clear. That little pop was an air bubble and you want to get rid of that. Pop your cup underneath. Now it doesn't matter what cup you use, just use something nice and big for this. Just because we're going to make a mess with this first coffee. Pop this guy in and now pay close attention here, guys. If you watch the mirror, this is probably going to be your best bet because when you lift this group, the lever up, watch what happens. So that's coming out way too soon because we're too coarse, and that's okay. So just extract this one, don't drink it, it's rubbish. Now I know what you're thinking, if you knew it was going to be too coarse, why did you pull the shot? Because I needed to show you guys something. If we'd have gone to the other side and went on to the finest setting, nothing would have come out. And with a La Pavoni machine, there's no release valve in the sense that there's no exhaust, like a typical E61 or Gaggia or any of those machines where any excess pressure can be released somewhere. On a lever machine, the only place the water and the pressure and the air can come out is the group head, which means you need to make a huge mess to get the coffee out. I'm not going to do that because it makes a lot of mess. If you Google the sentence La Pavoni sneeze, there's plenty of videos that come up. I will do one in the future when I'm not here. Maybe in a messy environment, I'll do it to show you guys, but it's disgusting. So you want to start coarse and work your way towards the finer end without going too far. Let's keep going, go a little bit finer and see what happens. So we pulled that shot with that at 4.5 on this grinder. Let's go down closer to 3, see what happens. And the only thing we're going to change is our grind size. So same weight, same tamp, everything else the same. All right, so we're back here again. And now the only thing I changed is the grind size. So we went finer on the grinder, but the same weight. Nothing else has changed. One variable at a time, guys. I can't stress that enough. Pop this guy in. I've already purged. You don't need to see that every time I do it. Lift her up. Now watching that mirror. We're starting to get a couple little drips after a few seconds. Then we push down, and if you have a gauge, this is where things come in handy, because we're still only making just under 5 bar of pressure. That's still way too coarse. It's not a bad thing. We can go finer and we can make things a lot better than this. So I'm going to risk it, and we're going to go all the way down to 2. So this line on the side of the grinder is the indicator. So 2 on that grinder. Let's see what happens. I might have gone too far and you might get to see a little Lapavoni sneeze. All right, we're back again. And all I changed, once again, is the grind size. Let's go. Keeping an eye on that mirror. We're looking for that same drip again. Uh-oh. We might have gone too fine. Oh no, we got a couple of drips. It's okay. We could save this. So watch that gauge up the top. Yes, I've gone a little bit too fine. And the only way to get this pressure out is to pull the shot. So we've gone too fine. But if I let this lever go up and then try to pull that group handle out, coffee will go everywhere. You can see it's hard because I'm shaking and it's squirting out the side onto the mirror, probably making it really hard for you guys to see what's happening. Oh man. Now, if you do get in this situation, once you get to the bottom, just hold it there for a bit until that pressure drops right down, and do not pull that portafilter out for a little while. So, like I said, we went a little bit too far, so let's come back a touch. Let's just go to 2.5. And we'll go again. So as you guys can see in that fill tube, we are running out of water because I'm a bit of an idiot and I got greedy. And well, there's a dial-in process. This can take some time. I'm going to show you guys how to refill it while there's still temperature in the machine. We just can't have pressure in the machine. So pop a big milk jug underneath your steam wand. Open that up and just let the pressure drop out of it. Because if you try to undo this now, there's pressure built up inside, and it's not going to be nice. Now we can undo this. Now it is hot, so be careful. Cold water into a hot machine. Yeah, I know. I'm an idiot. Pop your lid on. Turn it back on. And wait. While we're waiting for the Lapavoni, quick shout out to Time More, because the Sculptor 078S, this thing is amazing. It's not perfect. It's definitely not a perfect grinder, but for the price, this thing is insane. There will be a full review on this grinder in the very near future, and it's probably not going to be a bad one. I still have some little things I want to test, but so far it's looking pretty good. We're back again, and the only thing I changed was slightly coarser on the grind, because obviously that last one was a bit too fine, and we almost got to see a Lapavoni sneeze. Keep an eye on that mirror. We should be much better here. This should be pretty close to perfect. Starting to see those drips. So I like lower pressure shots, and we're right on 7 bar here. Now, as that coffee deteriorates, let the pressure drop off and give you what you call post-extraction. So you don't have to be pushing really hard the whole time. There are many different recipes. We're not going to go into that with your pressure side of things, but that's pretty close to where we want to be right now. So I've been struggling because I haven't had a coffee in about 2 hours. I know this has probably only been 10 minutes for you, but it's been a while for me because filming takes time. So I hope you like this, because, you know, literally hit the like button because it's effort. I need a coffee. It's for you guys. So it's quite obvious that the hardest part of building a good quality espresso on a Lapavoni lever machine is your grind size. Now that's why that's realistically all I've done, is play with the grind size, because if we're using different baskets, then it's quite self-explanatory. If you're using a smaller basket, use less coffee. But grind size is the key to getting good espresso on your lever machine. So pair it with a good grinder, because if you don't have a good grinder, it's almost impossible to get the best espresso out of your lever machine. Now, this might seem like a bit of a controversial thing, but if you're using a cheap grinder, you're not going to get good coffee out of it. And if you think you're getting good coffee, try using with a better grinder. I promise you'll hate that grinder you've got now. And then you're rewarded with delicious espresso like this. Oh, that is good. Very good. And I did say earlier I would explain how to do the same sort of process with a hopper style grinder. Easiest way to do this, you have to have scales. If you're not using scales, get them. They're cheap. You don't have to spend a fortune. These guys are cheap. So just zero your dosing cup. If you don't have a dosing cup, get one. It makes the world a whole lot easier, a lot less mess, a lot less waste, and it makes it easier to get the consistency because we can weigh the same amount of coffee every time and get all of that coffee into the portafilter. So pop it on there, get it zeroed, and just grind into the dosing cup. Now, don't stress about how much is going in just yet. We just want to get a rough idea. Pop it on there. If it's more, spoon some out. If it's less, just give it a little top up. It's as simple as that, guys. It's really not that difficult. I just prefer not to use the wastage, and I've got a new toy to play with, so I have to. Now, if you have any questions, pop them in the comments below, because I do my best to get back to absolutely everyone. I don't think I've ever missed a comment. If I have, I'm sorry, but I do my best. And if you want to see the original build video of this, I've actually popped it up in the corner here, maybe there, right there. I'll put it there, and then you guys can check that out for yourself, because I think you guys like La Pavone content. It seems to do quite well, and I do want to do more of it. So let me know exactly what you want to see. I don't care what it is, I'll do it. I'll paint the thing bright pink if you want me to. So that's all for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourselves a great day, and happy brewing. Ooh, hot. Check, check, check. Stop.